Number 5 on this list, Athas's Frozen Heart Quest, or The Adventures of Athas Lane, a mysterious ghost child you meet upon falling through the center of ICC. This quest chain starts off after you help place some bombs in the center of ICC that blow up before you can get to safety. Upon falling through the middle of the citadel, you land in a pool of water and find a mysterious pulsing crystal. The crystal will send you to talk to Athas, who says, "You shouldn't have touched it, but now that you did, he's going to come looking for you, and he'll find you unless you hide yourself from him. Bring me blood from the Faceless One if you want to live. You should leave now. You'll find a portal behind me. I'll take you to the surface. We'll meet again. He'll be looking for you. It's only a matter of time until he finds you." Upon turning in the quest for planting the bombs, you'll be sent to gather parts for a demolisher. Once you have all the parts ready for it, the ghost boy will show up next to it and say, "You're going to use this machine against the Scourge? You're not going to win against them like that. You can destroy hundreds, even thousands of them, but you won't win, not out here. When you're done playing with your machine, meet me to the north. There's an old army encampment. What I will show you will teach you a little bit about who you're up against." You probably think you're quite strong fighting these undead and crushing their bones beneath your war machines. That is nothing compared to the strength it took to create them. I saw the prince do it himself. I can show you how it happened, if you'd like. During this quest, you get to play as the Lich King as he kills his own men and turns them into zombies as part of his debut as the Lich King. The prince's true power wasn't his ability to make armies out of corpses. That was easy, but killing his own men with whom he'd shared many battles. The prince's true power was the ability to do what had to be done. Do you see now? Sending your men against the prince's armies just swells their numbers. I don't expect you to understand. You'll probably just end up like the others. You'd best return to whoever sent you. They might be worried. The next part of the quest has you collect bone dust from frostworms nearby. Upon completing the quest, you get to see another glimpse into the Lich King's past. This time, it's the resurrection of Sindragosa, like from the Wrath of the Lich King cinematic. And finally, the last vision you see from the past is the fight between the Lich King and Illidan. Before the prince became a king, he fought many battles, but only one where he came close to dying. It was fought right here. After you let me show you what happened, you'll understand everything. After that fight, the prince realized that what was holding him back was that he was still human. He could still feel. He could still bleed. He still had a heart. The first thing he did when he became king was to rid himself of it. He threw it down the pit where we first met, and you were the first person to touch it since. After your fight with Illidan, you tell the people on your gunship all about the Ghost Boy and Arthas's heart. They then send you to Tyrion, who comes up with a plan for getting to Arthas's heart, as it can be a potential weak point. Now, I should probably mention a little something about this last quest. This last quest is commonly bugged, and has been since Wrath, but Blizzard never got around to fixing it. So when I went to go get footage for this last part, it was bugged, and wouldn't let me do the quest for about a week. And after a complete server reset on a Tuesday, it was finally available for me to do. And I had gotten a new computer around this time as well, so the next part of this quest will be on a lot higher quality than the rest of the video. Now then, back to the quest chain. For this last quest chain, you get a disguise from one of the cult members and infiltrate their secret meeting where they're presenting Arthas's heart to the Lich King. The Lich King, however, knows that Tyrion has snuck in for some reason. It totally has nothing to do with the fact that he's carrying the giant-ass legendary sword, the Ashbringer. Anyway, Tyrion strikes down the heart while it's floating and passes out, but having his heart destroyed hurts the Lich King, and it's speculated that the only reason we're able to actually kill the Lich King later on is because he was still hurt from this quest chain, as the Lich King is definitely an Eternal, and all other Eternals that are fought in-game are weakened first before we actually fight them, because rarely is it the case that a group of heroes kills a major lore character. Heroes is what it's called when we kill a major boss in-game with no other significant lore character around to take the credit. Well, except for Cthulhu. It is totally stated that a band of heroes manages to take down Cthulhu. Anyway, after Tyrion passes out, a group of Death Knights run in and attack the remaining cult members. After they all die, the Lich King starts casting an instant death spell that you need to escape or else you'll die, like I did. Then you turn in the quest Tyrion and you pick things up again when you help him kill the Lich King later on in ICC, because Tyrion totally sits in a block of ice the whole fight and breaks out in time to kill Steel by breaking Frostmourne with the Ashbringer. The Matthias Lane quest chain is a great quest chain from learning a little bit more about the Lich King and actually getting to participate in major lore events, and I'm a huge fan of that. Number 4 on this list is the Rok'delar quest chain. In order to get the best bow in the game at the time, Rok'delar, Longbow of the Ancient Keepers, you had to go to Molten Core and defeat Major Domo to get the Ancient Petrified Leaf, which started the quest chain. The leaf gives you a quest to find the owner. Back in vanilla, quests were pretty vague. The guy you were looking for didn't appear until you were standing exactly in the right spot. So anyway, the quest giver would give you the task to kill 4 demons and gather the mature black dragon sinew, an item that dropped off of Onyxia. There was also another guy next to him that would give you a really nice quiver if you gave him the blue dragon bits from Onyxia. All 4 demons were rare elites and despawned if you approached them with anyone, including your pet, so you had to make sure no one was around to talk to them, and then they would reveal their demon form. All 4 demons had a special ability that could kill you quite quickly, and each demon had a weakness to one of the hunter abilities. Artoris the Amiable in Winterspring looks like a Tauren and turns into a Doomlord when you talk to him. The Doomlord's special ability is to place a dot on you that would do a ton of damage and lasted 3 minutes, so if it hit you, you died. He also enraged often and can one-shot you in melee. His weakness, though, was that his curse had a 30-yard range and he took 350% extra damage from Serpent Sting and received a debuff that did extra damage, which stacked. So, all he had to do is kite him and reapply Serpent Sting as much as possible and shoot him with the rank 1 arcane shot every once in a while, because he would reset if all you used was Serpent Sting. The hard part of this fight was that you had to clear a kiting path before engaging him, otherwise you'd end up kiting him into one of the bears or a stealth cat nearby, and since you needed to use Aspect of the Cheetah to kite him, that daze could have killed you. Also, once you reached 20% health, he'd slow down a little, and if you went too far away from him, he would despawn. So you had to constantly keep him more than 30 yards away, while also not going too far away or running into anything. He also moved faster than you while going uphill, so his speed changed randomly. If you didn't know how to jump shot while going uphill, you couldn't kill this guy. Franklin the Friendly in the Burning Steps looks like a human and turns into a Felguard when you talk to him. His special ability is a frenzy that he uses every 15 seconds that removes all magical effects and gave him a damage boost. That would kill you quickly. Plus, he ran faster than normal speed, but slightly lower than Aspect of a Cheetah. So in theory, you could simply just kite him, but this guy had a lot of health and it was impossible to kill him without running out of mana. So eventually, you wouldn't have mana to use Concussive Shot anymore and he'd catch up to you and kill you. His weakness was Scorpion Sting, a sting that hunters use that would lower the target's hit chance by 5%. When used on Franklin, it would remove his frenzy and make him so his melee attacks only did 1 damage. So, to beat this guy, it was more mana efficient to just melee him down slowly with auto attacks. Since his frenzy removed all magical effects, he removed the Scorpion Sting every 15 seconds and started hitting really hard. So, all you did was wing clip him when you knew he was about to enrage. Wing clip, for all you new hunters out there, was this melee skill hunters had that applied a slow, but this slow was considered a physical debuff, just like Concussive Shot or Hamstring. So anyway, you'd wing clip, run out 8 yards because that was hunters when enraged back then, Scorpion Sting him once he was enraged, and then slowly run back into melee range and repeat every 15 seconds. Simone, the inconspicuous female troll in Ungoro Crater, would turn into a succubus called Simone the Seductress when you talked to her. Simone was a little different from the other 4 demons in one way. You see, when someone tried to help you with the quest, the demon would say something along the lines of, "Only a fool would stay in this battle," and then despawn. However, when Simone did exactly the same thing, another demon called the Cleaner would show up and attack everything, and this little guy was immune to all damage, so you had to run away or die. Simone's special ability was a debuff that reduced range attack power by a ton for 45 seconds, a lightning bolt that hit hard, and a pet that only did melee attacks but if left alone could kill you. Simone had 2 weaknesses, the first being that Viper Sting would silence her so she couldn't use Lightning Bolt. Viper Sting was a sting that would steal mana from the target, and Aspect of the Wild would reduce the damage of a Lightning Bolt by nearly 75%. Aspect of the Wild was an aspect that gave nature resist. Since she had 2 weaknesses and a pet to deal with, there were a few ways to kill her. The first and easiest way was to simply freeze trap the pet, silence Simone, and melee her to death. Since she was a caster, she didn't hit very hard. You also didn't need to keep running out to reapply Viper Sting because Scatter Shot was enough to interrupt Lightning Bolt here and there, and Aspect of the Wild made it so you didn't really take that much damage when you took a Lightning Bolt to the face. This method was only possible though if you had either Magic Dust or a Goblin Rocket Helm to CC the pet once the trap wore off, because in vanilla you couldn't use traps in combat. Method 2 was to freeze trap Simone and kite the pet. Once the pet was dead, you would just run in and melee her to death. Simone was considered the easiest of the 4 demons to beat. Nelson the Nice was a gnome in Silithus that turned into a dreadlord named Solanor the Slayer when you talked to him. Solanor was the hardest of the 4 demons to kill. His special ability was to hit hard in melee, randomly fear you with an instant cast spell that also did a ton of damage, and spawn bugs that moved slowly but hit super hard if they touched you. His weakness was Wing Clip, and it rooted him in place for 30 seconds. So, to beat him, you just had to Wing Clip him and circle around him and shoot him to death with Serpent Sting and auto shots while trying not to let the bugs catch you. Since he would randomly fear you, this was not the easiest thing to do, and depending on your fear path, you might even run away from him and have him despawn. Supposedly, he was also weak to Frost Trap, which made him do reduced melee damage. In melee range, you would not cast fear or the bugs, so you could just beat him to death with melee attacks, but this was notorious for not working and being bugged. Plus, once Frost Trap ended, you still had to go out and kite anyway, since you couldn't lay traps in combat. There was a way to make the fight a little easier by having a Warlock help you. All you had to do was challenge a Warlock to a duel and have them cast rank 1 Curse of Weakness on you, which lowered your armor a little but made you immune to fear for 2 minutes. Then just have the Warlock come out of hiding long enough to cast a debuff you when it falls off, which for some reason didn't count as helping since it was technically a debuff, not a buff. You also had to stay close to the PvP pole and have your Warlock friends stay out of the fight for it to work. Once you killed all 4 demons and brought their heads back to the quest giver, he'd give you the bow and staff and you could show off to all the other hunters who didn't have one, because most hunters who got the quest never completed it due to its difficulty. Number 3 on this list is the Day Deathwing Came mini quest chain. This quest chain is all about the delusional rants of 3 people who claim to have done something very significant on the day Deathwing broke up the world. At first their stories start off plausible, but very quickly turn ridiculous. Deathwing made quite a mess when he passed through these parts. If it weren't for me, he'd probably still be here, laying waste to all the good people of Badlands. I remember it well. It was a bright, shiny day. I was just minding my own business when all of a sudden Deathwing appeared. I said to myself, I'm gonna punch that dragon in the face. Unfortunately, the cataclysm had knocked loose a bunch of angry elementals. You dang blasted elementals, I'll punch you too. Then, after running around for a bit punching elementals in the face, you finally get to punch Deathwing in the face. A bleat, human-formed Deathwing, but Deathwing nonetheless. After the dwarf gets done telling his story, the gnome next to him will interject. Not only was Therian's story wrong, it was boring, unimaginative, and slow. I'll tell you how things really happened that day. First of all, it wasn't sunny out, it was cloudy when Deathwing appeared. The cowardly dragon must have seen me because he turned away and flew into the clouds. I'll find you in those clouds, you worm, I yelled, and then I'll throw you to Calamador. Luckily, I had been tinkering with my world-shrinking device. I decided to keep shrinking the world until I could reach the clouds. Once the world was small enough, I started to hunt for Deathwing in the clouds. I had searched every cloud, but I couldn't find Deathwing. It was then when I realized he was hiding in the sun. I looked up. The sun burned me bad, but I got my hands around his slimy neck. I summoned all of my strength, faced west, and threw him to Calamador. The end. No moral. These two have no idea how to tell a story. Thorolden's story was too short, and Lucian's tale was a little too tall, if you catch my drift. Also, neither of their stories had hot babes in them. Sit back and I'll tell you what really happened that day. The day Deathwing came, blood rained from the skies. I believed I was showing my motorcycle to some hot babes at the time. After Deathwing appeared, they became quite frightened, but I only had room to rescue one of them. Obviously, I picked the male blood elf. We rode off down the canyon, careful to avoid falling rocks. The motorcycle has a speed boost, which increases speed by 1000% for 5 seconds. When I reached the end of the canyon, I remembered that my motorcycle could fly. That would have been helpful to know earlier. I flew up to the pillar located just north of the canyon. During the flight, I shared a tender moment with the strapping blood elf. Atop the pillar, I saw him, Deathwing. The time for the ultimate confrontation had arrived. It's at this time that the dwarf runs in and says, I'm gonna punch that dragon in the face. And in the background, you can see a giant gnome from the previous story. Cut it out, guys. Quit interrupting. Fine, you don't get to hear about how I beat Deathwing in a knife fight. Your loss. And that's it for this little fun quest. It's a very funny little 3-quest long chain that doesn't require any other quest to be able to do it. So it's a nice little breadcrumb quest you can just pick up and do for fun whenever you want. Number 2 on this list is the Pamela Redpaw quest chain, or more commonly known as the Battle for Darrowshire quest chain. In Vanilla WoW, the quest chain started out with Pamela's aunt, who would tell you that she hid her niece during the Battle of Darrowshire, and asked you to go to Darrowshire to look for her. Considering her aunt is a ghost, this does not bode well. Once you find her in the Plague Lands, she tells you,
"My Auntie Marlene told me to stay here in our house because my father had to go and fight. My father's the bravest man in the whole world. But I've been here for a long time and he hasn't come for me. Sometimes bad people come and whisper to me, and I want my dad to make them go away, but he's not here. And sometimes when it gets dark, I want to play with my doll, but I can't because I left it in town. Will you find my doll for me?"
With Cataclysm, her quest chain was changed slightly. Unlike the Legend of Stalvan quest chain, where they completely butchered their story, they keep this one pretty much the same with a few additions. Now, the quest chain starts off with her uncle asking you to go find her, and when you talk to her, she gives you the exact same doll quest, like from the vanilla version that it was just read. And the Ghost Wolf quest.
"My daddy always kept 2 swords, one for fighting with men and one for hunting the animals. I wasn't supposed to touch his swords, but I knew where he hid them. One day, he told my mommy that he was going to fight a lone hunter in the hills to the east, but he brought his animal sword with him. When he came back, he didn't have his sword with him. When Daddy comes back, he'll be so happy when I give him his animal sword. Will you go and find it?"
The sword you're looking for is in the lone hunter's head. Once you complete both quests, she'll say,
"I'm going to play with Dolly, but I don't want to play with Daddy's sword after all. You'd better keep it. Even better, can you give it to my Uncle Carlin? I'm not sure where he is, but sometimes I hear him crying. It sounds like he's nearby, to the north. I hope he's not crying for me. Will you find my uncle and tell him I'm alright? If you find him, say I'm waiting for him and I want to hear the story he used to tell. The one about the rabbits and the berry jam. That story's so funny."
Then, when you go and tell Pam's uncle about her death, you'll start another little quest chain to recreate the Battle of Darrowshire and help Pamela's dad's soul find rest. After you do the little series of quests to recreate the Battle of Darrowshire and help Pam's dad, he'll walk over to where Pam is and say, "Pamela, are you there, honey? Daddy, you're back. Let's go play. No, tell me the story, Daddy. No, let's go pick flowers and play tea time. I found my dolly. Did I tell you? I missed you so much, Daddy. I missed you too, honey, and I'm finally home." Then Pamela will tell you when you finish the quest chain.
"The fighting is over. I heard my daddy whisper to me. He scared away all the ghosts and he says he's coming home. I'm so happy. He also said I should welcome you if you came to our house, so I made some tea. I hope you like lots of sugar."
The Pamela quest is a very sad story of a little girl who died waiting for her father to come back from a battle, and continue to wait after her death, and you get to reunite both of them so that they can finally find peace. I was originally going to put the entire Fiona's Caravan quest chain at number 2, but Pam's story is just so much better than all the other quests from the Fiona's Caravan mega quest chain that I decided to just go with Pam's quest only. And finally, number 1 on this list, the quest chain that I thought was better than all the other quests on this list, which is saying a lot since The Legend of Stalvan and Pamela's quest chain are both very well done stories. But number 1 on this list is a well done story that also tells a significant part of lore to the World of Warcraft storyline, and foreshadows at something big that has yet to come. A quest chain done so well that you can tell Blizzard tried to copy its style in Myths and Warlords to tell other major lore events. And that quest chain, of course, is the Silverpine Forest quest chain. One of the few quest chains to put you in constant contact with one of the major leaders of the Horde, and is a perfect bridge in Sylvanas' story from Wrath of the Lich King onwards. The quest chain starts off strong with this little scene between Sylvanas and Garrosh.
Trust.
Where is that ogre-headed buffoon? Ah, speak of the devil.
Hell screams better be important, Sylvanas. You know how I detest this place and its foul stench. Why have you called for me? And more importantly, what are those scourge fiends doing here?
War Chief, so glad you could make it. With the death of the Lich King, many of the more intelligent Scourge became unemployed. Those fiends, as you so delicately put it, are called Valkyr. They are under my command now. And they are part of the reason that I asked to see you.
Get on with it, Sylvanas!
Very well, War Chief. I have solved the plight of the Forsaken. As a race, we Forsaken are unable to procreate. With the aid of the Valkyr, we are now able to take the corpses of the fallen and create new Forsaken. Agatha, show the War Chief!
What you have done here, Sylvanas, it goes against the laws of nature. Disgusting is the only word I have to describe it.
War Chief, without these new Forsaken, my people would die out. Our hold upon Gilneas and Northern Lordaeron would crumble.
Have you given any thought to what this means, Sylvanas? What difference is there between you and the Lich King now?
Isn't it obvious, War Chief? I serve the Horde.
Watch your clever mouth, bitch! Chromosh, you stay behind and make sure the Banshee Queen is well guarded. I will be expecting a full report when next we meet. Remember, Sylvanas, eventually we all have to stand before our Maker and face judgment. Your day may come sooner than others.
After, you go on a few quests to bolster your numbers and get some intel on the Worgen who you were planning on pushing out of Gilneas. Once those little setup quests are done, you'll take a ride with Sylvanas, who will tell you a little bit of her backstory.
We are the Forsaken. We will slaughter anyone who stands in our way. I have not always been the Banshee Queen, and my people have not always been the Forsaken. Long ago, this land comprised the northern kingdoms of Lordaeron, ruled by King Terenas Menethil. Terenas had a son named Athas. Athas. Even saying his name makes my body quiver in rage. This man-child, Athas, took for himself a cursed blade known as Frostmourne. Through Frostmourne, Athas killed his own father and raised this land along with every living creature in it. My own death came at the hands of Athas, when he and his armies sacked my homeland, Quel'Thalas, and murdered my people. In his vast cruelty, Athas severed my spirit from my body and raised me as a banshee to serve in his Scourge army. A similar fate befell all that would die to the Scourge war machine. In death, they were reborn as mindless undead, but Athas was not invincible. With each passing day his power waned, his grip over the will of the damned loosening. It was when Athas was at his weakest that I struck. And though the hour of his atonement had come, the worm managed to escape his fate, returning to the frozen wastes of Northrend. With Athas gone, so too was the control he held over the undead masses of Lordaeron. After recovering my body, I freed the remaining Scourge that were left behind. From the cruelty and mercilessness of Athas, the man who would be Lich King, the Forsaken were born. Our goal, our sole purpose, was to destroy the Lich King. We threw our lot in with the Horde and began our journey towards redemption. Now, the Lich King is dead, and we have returned. The people who called this land their home in life do so in death as well. But the Alliance does not recognize our rights. They claim this land as their own, while attempting to invalidate the claims of the founders of this kingdom. I will never allow it. Never! Lordaeron belongs to the Forsaken, always and forever.
Then, Sylvanas will send you into Gilneas to help the forces who were sent in before you. Once inside, you get sent on a covert mission to find a missing platoon of undead. When you find a surviving member of the platoon, he tells you that his group was taken out by an elite alliance group called the 7th Legion. You then go on a mission to kill members of the 7th Legion and to find out how they even got inside Gilneas, as the Forsaken have a ship blockade surrounding the city. It's during this quest that you find out that the group of Alliance reinforcements got through, and the person who was giving you orders gets overrun by Worgen, leaving you deep in enemy territory with one other soldier and a Valk. When you meet up with this other soldier, he tells you that the real reason you were sent into Gilneas and the secret mission you must carry out. Now, I will reveal to you why we are here. Lord Vincent Godfrey spent his life defending the kingdom of Gilneas. When the Worgen curse ravaged this land, Godfrey was one of the first Gilneans to take up arms against the beasts. It is said that upon discovering his king was afflicted with the curse, Godfrey took his own life. He would rather be dead than serve the very creatures that he had defended his home against. We are going to give him a second chance. Together, we will battle southeast towards Tempest Reach to collect his corpse. Once you have Godfrey's corpse, you fly out with the Valk as the 7th Legion and Worgen march on your location. Then, once you give the body to Sylvanas, she goes ahead and resurrects Godfrey, plus 2 of his men. Rise, Lord Vincent Godfrey, be reborn as an instrument of my vengeance. I live again. You live to serve me, Godfrey. Together we will crush the Worgen uprising and retake Gilneas for the Forsaken. For the Horde! Yes, of course. The irony of what I have become is not lost upon me, Lady Sylvanas. Though, as I have always said, better dead than Worgen, or, in this case, better undead than Worgen. Prepare your men, the Gilneas Liberation Front amasses at the Graveway Wall. Soon the reinforcements from Stormwind will arrive. We haven't a minute to waste. Armor, weapons, whatever you may need, you will find them at the supply depot behind me. Go now. As you wish, Banshee Queen. Once again, you have impressed me. Without your aid, we would not have made it this far. Walk with me. Sylvanas will then send you on a mission to reveal a small sect of Alliance mages who are hiding in a pocket dimension. Once you go through a small little quest chain that takes you to the ruins of Old Dalaran, you kill a large portion of the mages, reveal the pocket dimension, and watch as the Valk raises all of the mages as undead. Sylvanas, impressed with what you were able to accomplish all by yourself, decides to send you out on a mission with Godfrey himself to sabotage the Worgens and Alliance armies. While out in the field, you discover that a special person is out on the battlefield. Lorna Crowley, daughter of Lord Darius Crowley, is currently at the Gilneas Liberation Front camp. Our primary mission is to infiltrate the camp and capture her alive. The Dark Lady believes that she will be able to use Lorna as a bargaining chip against Crowley. I say we just kill her and bring her back as Forsaken, but we must do as the Dark Lady commands. So, the Banshee Queen has sent assassins. Lorna, is that how you greet old friends? Godfrey? So, the rumors are true. You would betray your kingdom out of spite. My kingdom is no more. Your father and Grey May saw to that. No, Gilneas died when they allowed murderous beasts to reign free, unchecked. Now lay down your arms and surrender. We are not here to kill you. Not yet. Ha! You'll have to kill me. Die! Upon giving Lorna to Sylvanas, she will have you accompany her across the battlefield to talk to Lord Crawley. During this whole part of the quest, Sylvanas' song will play as the zone's music. Crowley, your forces have fallen before my mighty army. You have lost. It's not over, Sylvanas. Not yet. You frivolously throw away the lives of your people while your own king sits atop his throne of lies, nary lifting a finger to help. Is Gilneas worth the lives that have been lost, the lives that will be lost? You cannot win. We will die trying. You could have offered her your blood, yet you did not. Why? Lorna? What? Where is she? What have you done to her? Nothing. Yet. I now present you with a choice that I was never given. I offer you the life of Lorna for your unconditional surrender. Choose your next words wisely, Crawley. Bring her, Godfrey. Godfrey, you deceitful maggot. Why, hello, old friend. Lorna, release her. I will sound the retreat. You can't be serious, Crawley, you miserable bastard. Release her, Godfrey. Of course, mistress. Now leave here, Crawley, and never return. Lordaeron belongs to the Forsaken. Forgive me, daughter. Soldiers of the Horde, we are victorious. Lordaeron is... Suddenly, Lord Godfrey and his group moves towards Sylvanas, pulling a gun and shoots her at point blank, killing her instantly. Lady Sylvanas, Windrunner, dies. What have you done, Godfrey? Something that should have been done a long time ago, you filthy animal. Gilneas belongs to me, and so soon will the rest of Lordaeron. Now join your mistress in death. Fall back, brothers, to Shadowfang. This land will quiver and shake in the wake of our destruction. Fix her. Fix her. We are bound to her, sisters. It will destroy us, sisters. It is our sacred duty. The pact was sealed, the bargain made. Then let it be done. The group of Valkyrie resurrect Sylvanas, sacrificing themselves in the process. I saw only darkness, and as I drifted towards nothingness, a brilliant light appeared, then another, and another. My dear Valkyrie, I know now, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that the Valkyrie are our future. We will never stop fighting for Lordaeron. Never! And that pretty much sums up the end of the quest line. Sylvanas goes back to Undercity to recover and send you to Old Hillsbrad Foothill, which also has an amazing quest line attached to the zone. I covered one of the better quest lines of that zone in my top 10 creepy things in a while video. The Silverline quest line, though, was just pure gold. The whole atmosphere of the place with a large-scale battle going on in the background while you're going out and doing your part to help the assault really makes this one of the more immersive quest lines I've ever done. And at the end of the questline, when Godfrey kills Sylvanas, I was legitimately shocked. I did not see that coming. Even though I've killed Godfrey like a million times in Shadowfang Keep back in Cataclysm, I never really made the connection while getting the footage for the video and doing the questline. It's rare that I have so much fun getting footage for videos, and I'm glad I went into this whole questline blind. It really made the whole thing an enjoyable experience. I had originally decided to put this questline in the video just for its backstory on Sylvanas it gives towards the beginning, but I fell in love with the quest chain after doing it, and I bumped it to number 1. And that's it for my top 10 quest chains video. If you watched this video without watching part 1, you should probably go check out that video. I'll have a link for it somewhere. Also, I'd like to thank Hazelnuttygames for providing the voice for Pam. I really thought it would make the video better if her lines were not read with my deep voice. She makes WoW videos over on her channel as well, you should totally go check her out.